Karisma said 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready? Okay. And we're live.
We live, baby.
We live, baby. Welcome back to our company time where two coworkers became besties and now we do this. I'm Nesha Mishlè.
I'm Karisma Shanel.
And yeah, we were having like the episode before the episode because we'll just run down the list of topics and then we'll literally just start expanding on the topic like as we're going over the topics and I think Karisma just gets like, girl, just press record, just press record. So we're gonna check in. How are things, Kay? How are things going?
Things are
Tell me
going
all
good.
about it.
I wish that I could tell you something exciting that I've been doing, but no, I literally go to work and the day just passes by. I'm like, what
Yeah,
have I been doing? What have I
right.
been doing?
No,
Like like working graveyard shift. I just be sleeping, but I will say that I'm glad it's not summer no more.
Facts.
Summer was a
Facts. Shout out to all my
doozy.
fellow Libras. It's Libra
Hey.
season, fall babies. Hey,
Is
all
it
the
Libra
Libras in the
season?
house. It is Libra season.
Dang. Virgo
It's
season
your girl's
done came
birthday
and
this
went.
week.
Hey. 7 p.m. Friday.
It's 95 degrees.
It's my girl's birthday. Hey. Hey.
Yes.
I wish I had something exciting to share, but I just been letting the days go by.
My life does feel exciting at times, but not in a good way. As of late, it just feels very chaotic, and I'm ready for it to calm down. I have what I can say though is that in the midst of storms, I've had some lights at the end of the tunnel. One of which being I got a seasonal job, so
Hey.
so we both about to be on that graveyard life because I work from 6 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. So.
Girl.
And it
6
was so
p.m. to
funny.
4:30?
Yes,
When you
6
said
p.m. to
that
4:30 a.m.
6 p.m.?
To 4:30 a.m.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
It's 10
11,
hours.
12.
10 hours,
Manisha,
4 days.
I
10
swear to God,
hours, 4 days a week.
when you told me, I was like, I said, I'm gonna just talk to her when I see her. I was like, 10 hours.
10 hours.
I'm
10
not gonna
hours,
say
4 days a week.
Okay, but you know what? I appreciate that though. I was just talking to the security guard at my job because I was saying how 2 days off is not enough.
Yeah,
But I would do 3 days off in a longer day.
appreciate the 3-day weekend. I would totally do that. And too, the days I feel like I got lucky because I got Sunday through Wednesday.
Yes.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm off. I'm like,
we better be in sync, girl. Monday, Tuesday.
Right. Exactly. So,
how do
I'm
you
excited
feel?
about
Yeah, I was
what?
gonna say about clocking back in.
It's so funny because Amanda and I were literally just talking about this because Amanda also had to get a job. So we're both in that same, boat of just taking on extra work to supplement the income. I don't feel a type of way about it. Like I know I have mentioned in the past that I would just because I have done it on my own terms. I literally just sat down and made a list. I was like, okay, I was like, if I have to do this, these are the jobs that I'm willing to do. This is the time that I'm willing to work. These, I set my boundaries and like what I'm willing to, because for me personally, I've already been in the conventional workspace and I have realized that I am a creative at heart and it's kind of create or nothing because oftentimes like being a creative does not align with financial security. Yeah. So you have to also get creative with ways to survive and make money and, maintain an income. So that being said, I have made peace with that. So when I go into these, jobs that I'm searching for, I'm not looking for my forever career. My forever career is creating. So I'm looking for something where I can keep my head down. Nobody's going to bother me. that's why I love graveyard. I'm strictly like great. I literally only look at graveyard shifts for everything that I look for, because it's usually the jobs that nobody wants to do. A lot of people don't really like to work graveyard, and I like to be a weirdo in that in that sense, because I feel like I get my pick of the litter. So I don't feel a type, to answer your question, this long drawn out explanation, I don't feel a type of way about it, because I was able to do it on my own terms and it worked out. I was able to get in at a place where I am set out. I can do it. It's easy. It's super. It's in logistics. I'm not gonna say the company, but I'm basically working in logistics, package handling, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's easy work. I've worked in logistics before. I'm excited to be able to have more income, especially like given the holiday season. It was crazy because during the interview process, the guy was like, "Oh, you just wanted to, ball out for the holidays?" I was like, "I actually just wanted to, be able to like live comfortably." Like, I'm tired of like feeling like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I could use the additional income because life be lifing, and she don't let up. She
and we
don't
live in
let up at all.
California.
We live in freaking California, bro. Like, it's rough out here. The only people I feel worse for than us are New Yorkers.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
Living in cabinets and cupboards for $5,000 a month.
Oh, YouTube, if I see another, look at my converted apartment that was a janitor's closet before. I'm like, dang.
I feel so bad. I'm sorry. No shade, Alti. And it's so that's what's happening in life, just regular, life stuff.
Yeah.
But, let social media tell it. Like, I'm like, me and Charlie are going viral, like every single day. Like, every single thing I've been posting lately, I've just been going viral. But now my momentum is killed because life is life. And so it's like, I haven't felt like posting. I have that, I just have like fatigue of it. Like, I have real life shit going on like every single day. The last thing I care about is posting some damn video online. I get I get burnt out on it.
Social media fatigue is a thing.
Social media fatigue, yes.
Yes. I set out to engage, I was like, because I made that my second job. I'm just like, I'm gonna spend my days. That's what I've been doing is posting and trying to engage and build a following. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. And there's so many strategies. Oh, do this and follow this people and make sure you comment this and make sure you watch it all the way through and da-da-da. I'm like, yo. So I'm fatigued. I fell off, and then I'm like, stay on. It's like,
I'm trying to hop back on before the momentum like completely dies, but it's hard.
Yes, because you got your 10,000, girl.
Yes.
TikTok shop.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. And you know what's so crazy too is that like one of the TikTok shop items that I bought is now out of season. So it's like, for me, it's like pointless to do an ad because it was a bathing suit. So I'm like, why am I going to do a bathing suit?
Because you live in California. Hey, y'all, it's winter, but it's still sunny.
And it's not that I didn't shoot it. I did shoot it. I just never edited and I never posted. So it's like,
I got you. Yeah.
So it's just that up and down of like trying to chase my dreams, but like it's hard out here for a pimp,
Yes. And I'm talking like I ain't got that same thing because I still got all my beach content in the archives, and I'm just like. And now TikTok has a thing where it's like it has storage. It's like, oh, you're running out of storage. Post it.
Yeah, which I hate. Like, leave me alone. Like, what are you talking about?
They're like,
you just store my videos, okay? Just store my content.
They're like, post the content. Post it.
Because next thing you know, they're gonna start charging you for like additional.
No, it's coming, Nesha.
It's coming.
You just said it.
Yep.
Now it's in the ether. Oh man. They just heard you. They're like, that's a great idea.
They're like,
we'll implement that next year.
Siri's like, you know what? I'm gonna take that to the next AI meeting. The next AI and algorithm meeting. I'm gonna take that. Thank you. Thank you, Nesha. You welcome, girl. Stop listening on my conversations. Anyways, moving right along. There's so much to talk about. There's just been so much that's going on. I know it's been a minute now, but the presidential debate did happen. It did come and go. We all watched. We all watched. We all saw what happened. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Period. You know what? I have to laugh because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
laugh.
Yeah, right, exactly. We can't take nothing serious. We are literally living in a reality TV show live. We all are.
Yeah,
We are
we're
all in a
living.
reality
We're in a
TV show, it seems like.
simulation.
Yes. We can't take nothing
We're
serious.
on
TikTok.
the next level of Jumanji. I feel like the Matrix, like just for kicks, they're like, what should we put them through today? Like, what should we
Yes.
throw at them today?
Oh my gosh. When Mouse
What's gonna
said, you
really get
see,
people going?
when
What's
Mouse
gonna
was
really fuck
like,
them up?
right, when Mouse was like, you see that lady in the red dress? Yeah, I created her. I feel like they're like, listen, let's put something in there. Let's code something.
Yeah.
See how they react.
Yes. The Kermit meme for sure.
It said, this thing, it just said, heads up, you should,
Yeah, like
record.
they
Yeah.
started a new recording track because we lost sound for like literally like a split second. If Amanda hadn't told me, I wouldn't have even known. But
Oh, got
yeah.
it. Well, shout out to this website for seeing
Yeah,
it. They're
shout
like,
out
whoa,
to
whoa,
this
whoa,
website
whoa.
for them having a recovery in place. Like, yo, shout out
Okay.
to Riverside FM. Y'all real for that. We love y'all. No, yeah, dead ass. Like, we'll take a sponsorship.
I love Riverside FM. Y'all did that.
No, it made all of our podcast dreams come true.
For real.
Because if y'all only knew how long we've been working towards this, and now we're finally.
God did.
God did. But yeah, I don't have much to say about it. We all saw it. The internet, the feeds have been lit ever since.
Yeah.
And we can't take nothing serious.
And I do not think that Kamala Harris should control her face. I think that she should let her face do what it does because she. Please. I love all of the nonverbal black mama auntie communication.
Yes. No, it was literally 10 memes delivered in one sitting. Because if you know, if you grew up, seeing these expressions on a regular basis, then you know what's up.
Yes, period.
You know what's up. Moving
Girl.
right along. You know what I want to talk about, and it's oddly a very controversial topic. I want to talk about bonnets in public. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of it all because why are we so upset? Why are we so mad? Why are we so mad about
Did this spark? Did you see something that sparked this?
I just see a continual thing, and what I'm coming to understand is that it's a very two-sided argument because you have people who believe that we shouldn't wear bonnets in public. They tend to be what I would like to refer as old heads. Like Monique is a great example. She went on a whole rant on the internet about it.
Auntie is a pioneer for the no bonnet movement.
shout out to Worldwide Monique. I love you down. That's Auntie.
We love you, Auntie.
We love Auntie. So no shade. I understand. This is no, attack. I understand and empathize with the sentiment because it is something that is instinctually and historically Black. The reasoning behind why the Moniques of the world feel that way. Then I'll see, somebody like an Amber Riley, wears her bonnet outside, and doesn't care, is unapologetic. I'm going outside with my bonnet, don't care. You know what I mean? So, and the reason why it's so controversial, it's like I just said, there is a perception as old as time behind people like that who wear their bonnets outside and like what that says about what's that supposed to say about them
and their image, policing Black women and their image in
Black
general.
women and their image in general.
Yeah,
correct.
and their aesthetic. We're always under a microscope about everything we do, from the way we wear our hair to the shoes that we wear on our feet. We're always scrutinized for it. And I am a bonnet warrior. Wear the bonnets. I am, what did I say earlier? What did I say? Oh, bonnet supremacy.
Bonnet supremacy, yeah.
Bonnet supremacy, wear your bonnets, because it wasn't too long ago I saw a TikTok of a non-POC woman who discovered the bonnet, and it worked wonders for her. And she's so excited because she discovered a bonnet, and oh my God, it protects my hair. It's so great. And now, boom, now it's acceptable.
Right. It's no different than when, like, you know, like I remember like in 2018 or something like that, Kylie Jenner got dreads in her hair, and now it's like, oh, it's edgy, and you know what I mean? Got locks in her. You know, so it's just it's tale as old. You know, anytime the Kardashians want to throw like a box braid or a, you know, cornrow look, it's a thing. You know, anytime they want to lay their edges, it's a thing. So it's, you know, it's a tale as old as time. It's nothing new under the sun. And to just kind of double down on that, if you think about back in the day, I don't know the exact, you know, centuries, like 1800s, early 1900s, whatever. It was very common to wear a bonnet outside. You see like old, you know, prairie women, you know, outside with their bonnets protecting their hair. You see, you know,
I call it the Oregon Trail days.
yeah, the Oregon Trail days. And you see high society women outside wearing bonnets, you know what I mean? So it's like it just, for me, it just becomes a thing of like, okay, it's because it's Black women? It's because it's largely Black women, and this perception of us, when we do something it's ghetto, but when y'all do something it's inspired. Oh, it's so great, you know.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
just
so
that.
forward.
So while I understand and empathize with the old head opinion about it, I have, I guess, a younger generation resentment towards the sentiments behind that notion. And
Because they want us to be perceived. It's always been from a perspective of wanting us, when we step outside of the house,
we have
to
to
be
be
perceived
perfect.
as put together.
Yes, we have to be
Act like you was
perfect.
raised right.
Because we
You
have
know.
to because you know, we have to do it twice as good. Everything that we do has to be twice as good. So it's like I share that young, while I empathize with the old, I share that young spirited resentment of unfairness and the pressure. It's a lot of do you know how much pressure it is to be perfect? Like perfection literally doesn't exist. So do you know how frustrating it is to like work so hard time after time after time to like not make a mistake, and you can't do one thing, because the one thing that you do wrong, they will crucify you, and they won't care. It will cancel out every single thing that you've done before, and now suddenly nothing matters but this, you know, one perceived, you know, fuck up or mishap or what have you. It's ridiculous. So yes, I more so have that, what I call spirited resentment towards the notion that we have to, one, look presentable all the time, two, that wearing a bonnet somehow makes you unpresentable. I just don't share that view. I don't share
I
that
don't share that
viewpoint.
view. Yeah. And I can attribute COVID to a shift in how we dress nowadays anyway,
I know.
because
I feel like
nowadays
everybody just
sweats
wants to
and
be
hoodies has
comfortable.
become high fashion.
I feel like everybody just wants to be cozy and comfortable all the
Everybody's
time.
now every
Women
now
don't wear heels
everybody's
anymore. I,
no.
I saw this post with Law, was it Law Roach? Is that
Uh-huh.
his name?
La
Um
Roche.
so I, no shade. I didn't, if I butchered it, I'm sorry. I did not
No,
mean,
you're
I'm
good.
literally guessing. But I saw this post where he was like the girls don't wear heels anymore. They wear sneakers now. And I was like, it's true. Like the girls wear
Facts.
sneakers now.
Yeah.
It's the age of comfort that we're currently in, and I'm not mad at it. I am, as I get older, I lean more towards like it has to be comfortable above it being cute. Like the comfort matters more than the cuteness to me these days. So it has to
Yeah.
have that fine line of comfort and, you know,
Because
fashionable.
again, the definition of perception is changing who we're
Mm-hmm.
dressing for. A lot of us are dressing for ourselves. A lot of us are shifting are gays. And because a lot of the TikToks that I follow, they're like, I don't dress for a person to be attracted to me. I dress for, like you said, comfort.
Yes.
My own personal
My
style.
own personal
like
style.
what I want to, and I love it. It's like it's a revolution. It really is. And
I love it.
Black women and what we do with our crown has always been the topic of conversation.
And to
Our
be frank, it's
hair,
our black ass business. It is our
it
black
is
ass business. Like, keep
our business.
yo non-black ass out of it. And
And
to our own
everybody.
people,
Yeah.
like, I want to encourage us as a people, as Black people, to stop just being so quick to, like, it's like a trigger. It's like, stop being so
We're so
quick to
hard on each
criticize our
other.
own and come down on
Yeah.
our own. Like,
We're
we're
so
harder on
hard.
our own than we are on anything and anybody else. It's like, stop that. That is like instinctually, like, it just like it. The crazy thing about like being quote unquote woke is that like what that means is that you see how so much of like us as a community ties back to fucking slavery.
Yeah. And
Literally
how,
slavery. So it's like,
yeah.
it's heartbreaking. It's like, well, please sever your ties with the mentality that that keeps you in shackles, that literally keeps you in like mental shackles. Like, open your mind, open your heart, and just like let change in gracefully. Like, embrace it, embrace the new. Deep breath.
Give us free and let us
Give
be.
us free and let us live.
Period.
Anyway, moving right along. In connection to presidential debates and bonnets in public, we also have Black women and hypersexuality. That was something that we touched on when Chloe Bailey released her most recent album. I feel like that is another like very damning. I feel like that is another thing that we as a culture are quick to condemn. It, most especially in Black women, because again, what that perception of someone being hypersexual is attributed to is very negative. There's a very negative perception of someone who is hypersexual, so therefore we as a people instinctually seek to separate ourselves from that notion. We don't want to be, I feel like instinctually, like, we don't want to be perceived as ghetto, or we don't want to be perceived as, not smart, not intelligent. So that is where the notion of dismissing anything that could tie you to that perception and only projecting a sense of, put togetherness, as you said, perfectionism. And one, that just doesn't exist. Like, that just doesn't exist. Two, we are all like, to quote Forrest Gump, we are all like a box of chocolate. Okay. Like, we're all like, we're just all different. Like, we all have our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own perspectives, our own style, our own zhuzh, our own vibe, our own bag. Like, we all have just our own way of life. And I subscribe to the idea that there's no right or wrong way to do life. So I just wish that we as a people were less judgmental. But again, to my point, Black women, and in particular with hypersexuality, we I just feel
We
like,
can expound on that because I'll speak for myself. I have to do a little bit more digging and research about this particular topic because it's so loaded and we can really get into the nuts and bolts of it. I
yeah.
just because we're not saying the subject stemmed from us talking about Chloe Bailey's pivot from
Mm-hmm.
Chloe and Halle to her
Mm-hmm.
solo image
Mm-hmm.
and how that sparked this sexuality and hypersexualism conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
I myself do not think that she's hypersexual. I think she's in a performative stage of it. But it's so loaded that I don't even know what to say about it. I don't even know what to say about it because I think it plays again into something deeper, like you said.
Yeah.
Slavery. We could write a whole paper. I swear.
Yeah. And you know, like, and I feel like maybe too, like, just the word itself, hypersexual, just has this negative connotation to it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like she herself has said that she is a very sexual person. So, like I said, to my point, there are people on this planet who are just, there are so many ways to do life and live life and think and feel. You know, we're not all like one carbon copy or like one mold. We didn't all come out the same way. But I think that a general consensus in the Black community is that to be even perceived as hypersexual as a Black woman is negative, because it ties you into all of these other negative connotations. So even like dancing provocatively, dressing provocatively, whereas I feel like everybody has like their spectrum of what is hypersexual and what isn't. You know what I mean? It really just depends on the person you're talking to. Like, my idea of hypersexual is going to be different from, you know, the first lady at the church. So
Yeah.
At
And
the
it's
end
so
of,
crazy that like we can talk about, you know, Black women and their sexuality, their attractiveness, the way they present themselves in public, and nothing that we do seems to ever, like, there's always going to be this pushback. Cuz did you hear about our guys, that podcast Shits and Gigs? Their recent apology?
no.
They were on the Andrew Schultz. I don't know if that's his name. Let me check. Andrew Schultz podcast.
You're gonna tell me something I don't want to hear, because I love them.
I love them too, Nesha. Yes. Okay. So Andrew Schultz, they were on this 40-year-old man was they were on his podcast. Forgive me, y'all, because I do not consume a lot of male podcasts. I
Male.
do not listen to what men have to say oftentimes. So I just saw a clip of Andrew Schultz being extremely obnoxious when it comes to this idea of, there was a poll going on where it has the black girlfriend effect, where it had a bunch of tweets about when a non-POC man gets with a black woman and how his life elevates. But Andrew Schultz was kind of like demeaning that, or just like turning it into something negative. He was just saying negative things about black women in general. And the Shits and Gigs guys, they were just laughing. And it sparked this conversation about not checking non-black men or black men in general, when they're demeaning black women in
Yeah.
this in the sense of comedy, you know, in the veil of when it's covered in comedy. And so they issued an apology. I didn't watch it. That's why I'm like, should I even talk about this? Because I just scroll. I see it and I just scroll. That's the way I protect myself as a black woman.
Right.
But it just continues the question of, can we even survive without being scrutinized for every single little thing we do?
Right. Which is why, you know, I love how you characterized yourself earlier. We were having a conversation. You said you the type of personality that you have is a personality that cares to some degree about perception.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like, I do not care about what people think, because if I did care about what people think, it would drive me crazy, like
And I am
literally
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Quite
It
literally.
does.
So
Yeah.
I don't know where the mental block came from, but I just know that, like, now what I will say is that when it comes to people that I actually care about and like I value their opinion and that sort of thing, like, that's different. That does tend to weigh heavier on me and have more sway over my opinion, and it does, you know, to a certain degree, I do care what certain people think.
Yeah.
But it's why, especially people who don't know me, when it comes to, you know, being a creative and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, the comments can be turned off. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't care what
Absolutely.
you have to say. And it saddens me too when people start to create from that standpoint of wanting to please an audience. And it's like, I feel like it moves you further and further away from what it means in your heart to be a creator. And it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what other people fucking think.
And
Absolutely nothing.
I've had to do some deep, deep work to deconstruct that and
Mhm.
live more authentically and be more of myself and even discover more of who I am, because I've lived in such a people-pleasing space all my life. And we can go back to childhood. I could unpack that with my therapist. But it's been a survival tool up until a point. And so, yeah, it still comes up. I still very much care about how I'm perceived, even at work. It's like it's a sickness.
And it's a conditioning. And when you think about like a physical condition, whether it's a physical conditioning, a mental conditioning, it takes time. It took time to get this way. So if you think about it in that aspect, it's like, how long did it take me to get this way? It's like, oh Lord, so I can only imagine how long it's going to take me to unget this way.
Yeah.
That got really heavy. But I wanted to wrap up, I guess, the Let's Talk About It segment. I liked those 3 topics in particular: the presidential debate, the bonnets in public, and the Black women and hypersexuality, because I feel like it has the same in every scenario. The what do you call it? The common denominator is just like Black women, the unfairness of like how Black women are harshly criticized, harshly judged on every single aspect. Like we have, whether you're running to be the president or whether you're, just an artist, you know what I mean? A very unapologetic artist. It's like you run the gamut. We're scrutinized
for
at
laughing so much. We scrutinize this woman for laughing.
For laughing.
For having a bubbly, giggly personality in this hellhole that we call America.
Yes.
God damn.
Choosing to be optimistic is now something to criticize. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We can't live. Like we can't live.
Set us free and let us be. Goodness. So, yeah.
Well,
whew. Heavy stuff.
Moving right along. Yeah. We could do team building. We could do work chronicles. You know what? I can't remember in what order we do this anymore. I think we just gotta get on here and we just
team building comes after. I don't know either. I think we just be winging it. But did you have anything for team building? Because we could play the game of.
So I did have a something I did want to discuss.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a topic of discussion.
Was that the?
What?
I'm gonna just wait and see what it's gonna be.
Well, are we doing team building right now, or are we? Should we go to work chronicles?
We can. I feel like we can do something fun right now, and then get into gig work.
Okay.
Or do something light.
Well, there was a past conversation that y'all don't mind me. I'm looking for a DM, a specific DM that I received. So I remember in a previous conversation that you and I were having where, you talked about wanting to potentially add like a dating segment, just because like I am, I said I have like a window, I have like a 5-year window or something like that.
Yeah.
Left.
She said, I want my eggs cracked. That meaning I want a child. And I was like, girl, we only got so much time.
Meaning I want to be married.
So we only got so much time. So we got to get Nesha out in the pool. Did you see the clip with watching the balloons where, again, he's scrutinizing, the man is scrutinizing her hair, and he's like, I don't really like the braid. I see the bump in the back. She took off her wig, was like, what braid, baby? You don't even know. You scrutinizing me, and you don't even know what you're talking about. You
no, she didn't.
Nesha, this beautiful woman was, the men are all lined up, and he popped his balloon. She's like, why did you pop your balloon? And he's talked about her wig. Well, first of all, shout out to the non-side tooth having people. I'm one of those people, because he scrutinized her. He said the side tooth. Damn. Do you know how that is a symbol of our childhood? A lot of us had bad teeth growing up, and we got that tooth removed.
And a lot of your parents just didn't. I don't want to say parents, just your situation, your circumstances. You're a victim of circumstance, essentially, because you weren't able to get proper dental work as a
No.
child and are now having to
Yes.
deal with it as an adult.
A lot of
Like
us got
literally
that tooth
stumbling.
extracted when we were younger. So he said, yeah, the side tooth can't do. And then he
Oh my
scrutinized. He
gosh.
said she had a wig on niche, but he said I can't do weaves because I see the braid and the bump in
I'm
the
sorry.
back.
I hate that I'm not looking, but I'm listening
No,
because
you're
I'm like,
good.
what the heck?
Right. So he thought she was wearing a weave.
Uh-huh.
And he thought she had leave out covering her braid. He was so wrong because she went down the road and she was like, he was actually wrong about my hair because this is a wig. And she
Mm-hmm.
pulls it off, has a beautiful blonde buzz cut
Oh my
underneath it,
gosh.
gagged everybody. What a wig reveal. RuPaul would have been so proud
I
and
live.
gagged everybody. So I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yes, popping the balloon, being scrutinized by black men, men in general, and
Right.
trying to find love at the same time.
Right. Having to brave that world in order to find love, but like just getting so like
Oh my God, that was
just getting like burnt
heartbreaking.
down, just getting burnt out. Like
And
getting burnt
when
out on this.
she took off the wig, the other dude that was in front of her, he was like, "You still look good," as if you
Oh.
still look
Yeah,
good,
like
as
as if
if
like yeah, like you need like
to reassure her
that
that just
reassurance is
because you
like
have short
needed.
hair, you still look good.
Stop.
She didn't need that reassurance. She knew
Right.
she looked good.
Right. It's like people don't even it's like backhanded compliments. Like people don't understand that
Oh,
them
it's
saying that is
so
not.
deeply rooted and embedded in just. So where you at, girl? Where we
So
going? I totally forgot.
so
Getting riled up.
as you mentioned earlier, I've reached 10K on TikTok. Woo woo. So I'm having a very niched problem of trying to find a DM and having to like go down the the
Oh, because your DMs are flooded? Is that what that is?
flooded girl. So okay.
Girl.
So for today, just for the sake of time, because I remember the gist of it.
Yeah.
So I decided to do something I don't usually do, and I decided to brave my DMs for y'all, just because I was having an exchange with this gentleman in my DMs, and I got very, very curious. Mind you, like I knew pretty early on that I was not interested. Like everything from like love bombing to like potential like seemed like a mail order bride situation.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
But you're saying you decided to go in the DMs and entertain.
yeah, have the
Okay.
conversation.
Okay.
Have the conversation. So I responded to the gentleman. He basically, and okay, so here's the thing. For men who are DMing women in general, it's like, why do y'all come in like so hot guns blazes of like, hey, like, where do you live?
Ooh.
uh how old are you? Do you have any kids? Like, why do y'all come in like that? Like, that is so awful. Like, what am I in an interview? I feel like I'm being interrogated first and foremost. Like, I don't understand the nature of that. Like, I don't understand like why they
It's
come
very
in like
chat roomy. Location, age,
yeah,
city.
So normally when I on the days where I feel like I have time today and I respond to these people, normally I am on my soapbox. I'm like, why are you talking to me like I'm not a human being? Like I'm always like just like I feel like giving them the Joan the Joan Clayton and just like going in like you could be better than this. You know what I mean? Always trying to appeal to their better nature.
Yeah.
But today, on this particular day, he was just hitting me with the like, you have any kid? How old are you? And I was just answering one word answer, this age, no. Did it like just straightforward, like not giving any personality, just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And then after that, he's like, he's like, where do you live? Where do you live? Because I live in Africa. Would you be willing to have an online relationship? I said point blank, no. I literally said flat out no. And do you know what this man said? He said, do you know that you can find your husband here online? He said, are you aware that you could really find your husband here online? I responded saying, I would actually prefer to find my husband in real life, but thanks
Ooh.
anyway. But then I kept it very like, because if you want to give me corporate, I'm gonna give you corporate right back. So if this is an interview, I'm gonna be like, decline,
This
decline
is
to
so
answer.
scary.
It is.
So
It is.
how, because if he's from Africa, does he
Mm-hmm.
even know how to talk to women in a way where it's not, so what? So what do you want? What would you have like him do? Use emojis or just use a
Not
sentence? Like,
necessarily like emojis, but like actually talk to someone like you're interested in like getting to know who they are as a person and not just like checking boxes.
okay, I got you.
No kids. Da 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 da. Oh, and when I told him my age, he said, "Girl, you are going to laugh your ass out." When I told him my age, he was like, "How have you been able to make it to this age without a husband or any children?" And I said, "By the grace of God."
Won't Alicia, by the grace of God.
By the grace of
By
God.
the grace of God.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I cannot.
And you can just imagine, how have you been able to make it through this age? Like
Oh
with
my God.
without the husband and children. By the grace of God.
By the grace of God Himself.
By the grace of the Lord. He is protecting me. He has kept me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful.
He kept me. Just kidding. We're jokes. I kid. I kid. I
I
kid.
kid. I kid. I jest.
Nisha, are you open to dating outside the continent?
No.
Are you open to dating outside of North America?
No. There would have to be so many there would have to be so many like undeniable like green flags for that to even work out. For me to like, if you if y'all see me like dating somebody like across the country, across the world, just leave me alone. Just leave me there, because when I tell you, that has to be like the best relationship I've ever had in my life for me to even like, because that the work that requires, and this is from personal
Mm,
experience in long distance relationships, like the work it requires in order to make, and I was explaining this to him too, because I just kept saying flat out no, 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 no. And he was like, why? Like, hitting me with the why, the how come, the da da da. And I was
mm.
just like, just from personal experience, I've never dated somebody that far, but the work that comes into maintaining a long
Long
distance
distance
relationship
yeah, yeah.
is not going to be, that's not going to be cultivated in a 5-minute exchange with somebody I literally just met on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I do know what you mean, and I do have a bit of a theory about Black women in love, and specifically the location of America.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that Black women should
Oh, I would
open
definitely. I
their
would move.
horizons
I want to move
to
to
dating
Europe.
outside the
I
pond.
definitely want to move. I would love to move to Europe or live there to like short term, like maybe for like half the year, just to experience a different culture. And yeah, and
Yeah,
maybe find me a little Europe bay.
yeah.
I say
Uh,
that all the time.
Opening to all kinds of, because there's only so much of the pool in America,
Mm-hmm. And I
and
don't. So I
so
don't want to say. I guess what I don't want to say is that I'm like not open to that. I think
yeah,
in this scenario though was like quickly evident that like it was. I'm not. Why would I do this for you? Who even are you? Like, why would I
yeah,
do this for you? Like,
yeah,
who are
yeah.
you? Anyway, but if I was abroad, for an extended period of time and met a Europe bae who was who ended up being the love of my life, then yeah, like my life is about to take a take a turn.
So
And I am the friend in the friend group. Like it's like we wake up and the bitches in Arkansas, like that's me anyway. So
yeah,
so there's that.
and as we both open up our algorithms to different regions, you
Right.
are going to get a different pool of people with different cultures and ways of, because I've gotten some of those DMs, and I just block them immediately.
Right.
I
Which is,
don't even
no,
engage.
again, my
Terrifying.
standard, my default is to block immediately. Every once in a blue moon, it's like I got time today and I feel like getting on my soapbox. But for the most part, it's like block. I have no, like, why, what is the point of engaging? But in this particular instance, like you had put me on game about like engagement on TikTok. So I was rapidly gaining followers
I
after the
know,
fact.
that's, see?
So I'm in my, and it's, and to a certain extent it can be hard to tell. There are some people who DM you and it's a vibe. Like I've made so many great connections online, so I can't front and be like it's all bad. But when it came to men in particular,
When they try to
yeah,
fish for, and it's
yes,
like, I'm just engaging. Like I'm like, I promise you, TikTok said if I use a sentence
mm-hmm.
that it will mean something for your algorithm. So I literally just said you have a nice shirt. I don't mean anything by it. All I said was nice moves because I like what you're dancing. That's it. I wasn't trying to.
I was I wasn't trying. And the gag is quiet as it's kept. I have had these experiences before. There was a guy in England. I was in England for a short period of time doing photography for a band, and there was a guy that I was having a little, like maybe a little European rendezvous, like potentially, that fell
Okay.
through. You know what I mean? And then so again, like I was telling him, I was like, when I tell you, like I have had probably every dating scenario that you can think of. Like I've run the gamut. Like I know that this in particular is not going to work out for me. I would have to be in someone's environment like for an
Mm.
extended period of time. That's why I said if I was abroad living
Yeah.
somewhere for like 6 months to a year or something like that, short period of time, and I just happen to find somebody, then topsy turvy. Like my
Yeah.
life is gonna be turned upside down. Because I'm a helpless romantic at heart. But at the same time, it's like the period that I'm in my life right now, I'm always talking about my little short window of time that I have to make that happen. But at the same time, there is this ambitious side to my personality to where I'm putting a lot of that energy that could potentially be going into a relationship to myself, because I would rather just
Yeah.
like attract that energetically. I would rather
Yeah.
attract what's meant for me energetically, relationships included. So I'm choosing to love on myself right now. And honestly, I really don't have time to like drop everything for like someone in my DM talking about, you can meet your husband online. I was like, well, I prefer a husband who's here. So, um, yikes.
And I'm gonna say, they be like, I could move you here, you gonna be an African queen. And I'm just
Listen,
like,
African queens, or people be marrying people and that they met online in jail, and now you with this this man that is in jail, and now that's your husband. You've never seen this person in your life, and he cashed out you some money, and now you're married to him. So it's like, yikes.
Nesha,
Pray pray for the young and impressionable.
prayers up.
Please pray for them. So anyway, yes. I told him that I would prefer my husband to be here. And he goes into how he's heartbroken and he's like saddened that he's not good enough for me. And I said, it doesn't have anything to do with you not being good enough. I don't know you well enough to know if you're good or not. It's exactly that I just don't know you, and what you're offering, and I couldn't be further from interested. Like I'm just not interested, like
It's
remotely.
like we're moving at warp speed right now. Can we slow down?
Right, we're on the accelerated route, and I'm like, whoa. And he was just like, and then he hits me with the "but I love you," and I said, no you don't. And he said, I do. And I said, no you don't. I was like, what you're not gonna, I got on my soapbox a little bit. I was like, what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna get into my space and just completely like love bomb me like that, because you don't know anything about me. So I don't know how you can even bring yourself to say something like that, to type that to a person. But you think about like
Yeah.
someone who's love starved and insecure with no self-esteem. I'm just like, oh my God, this is like, it's like water to the to the thirsty. You know what I mean? So I was just like, wow, the state of dating. And it's funny that you brought up the pop the balloon, because as stark as these like encounters are that we see on a regular basis, is like I want the truth of like the state that we're in because
yeah.
it only re-solidifies my standing on business, and just like I am patient because I'm not a settler. I'm not willing to stick my flag somewhere where I don't feel what I want. It's like what I want and know I deserve or nothing, because I, unlike some unfortunate others, like I know my self-worth. I know like what I bring to the table, as like they all like to say. So it's like I don't need that validation, that cheap validation that comes so easily to you online in your DMs and what have you. Like I don't need it. But I just thought I would brave them for y'all because I thought it would be an interesting story. Which
And I love how I'm just like, block, I don't even have a table. I bring nothing to the table. I have nothing to give you but fear.
Right. So for those of you out there who are curious, I like, well, like what's the state of dating? I hope this just gave you a little taste of what it's like out here.
Man.
Rough in these streets. Okay, so final segment of the day, we're going to get into some work chronicles, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm going to move into back into the gig working space of things, because I had a thought before that. I feel like there is this incorrect perception of what gig working is essentially. And when I'm saying gig work, I mean, I'm talking your food delivery, your grocery delivery, your ride share, packages, Amazon Flex, whatever. I feel like there is this very incorrect perception that this is like a conventional like establishment where that has like someone that you have to answer to, and there is procedure in place for every possible scenario. Please listen to me when I say it is the wild freaking west out here. Okay, I want to challenge people to think of gig working again, your local food delivery, your grocery delivery, rideshare, what have you. I want you
Lyft,
to think of
Uber.
what the whole Postmates, whatever, all of them,
Mm-hmm.
all of them. I want y'all to think of them more so as you sliding your neighbor some money to do you a favor, to run you an errand. And some of your neighbors are top notch. They're good people, salt of the earth, and they'll do what needs to be done, and you'd be more than happy to call them up again to help you out. Some of your neighbors are a little, shifty and shady, and maybe they'll run off with your money, or you know what I mean, or maybe they won't do a good job, or you know what I mean. And at least with gig working apps, like you are able to get a refund if you've been inconvenienced, or whatever the case. Because if it really was you just slipping your money to your neighbor and they just decided to run off with your whatever, then you just be SOL. So at least there is like a consolation to this way. But I
And
want
it's like not even your neighbor, Nesha, a stranger.
a stranger,
Just be like somebody on the street.
just
Hey, can
someone who
you
live. Yeah, like you call someone down the street, like it's literally just someone who lives in your city, county, whatever. Like, so I say neighbor because they live with you. They live in the same at least county
city?
as
Yeah.
you. Not
County,
maybe
yeah.
not always city, because there are sometimes you deliver pretty far, but they at least live in your county for sure. They 100% live in the same county as you. So yeah, it's literally like just going in a phone book. I'm showing my age, but going in the yellow pages and being like, "Yo, can I pay you $20 to pick up this McDonald's for me?" That's literally like what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't know what you're gonna get. Like, so this is why I stress to people, like, and this is just me. This is not me encouraging people to think the way that I think. This is just me personally. Like my stress and my anxiety and my control issues, I can't handle that. I can't handle those odds. I can't handle that probability. I prefer to pay my money somewhere where I feel more secure and comfortable and know what's going to happen. There's a procedure in place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, from personal experience of working these, various apps, I know from personal experience that it is like the wild wild west out here, and I don't want to deal with wild wild west antics while somebody is handling my groceries, my, you know, my food, my life. I granted I do rideshare, but once in a blue moon, only like when I have to, because like I hear like SA stories like all the time. It's like my worst fear, like, you know
Nisha,
what I
I'm
mean?
like, I'm gagged by that. I'm like, SA?
Mhm.
How does that even happen?
Right.
But I have gotten into cars late at night if I need a ride or somewhere coming from somewhere
Mhm.
where I've gotten in the car and I'm just like, I am terrified. And this,
I've done as a driver, not, and this is
yeah,
not just passengers, you know, customers, drivers too. Like we as drivers are in danger, you know, all the time.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
I don't even want to like start, girl. I don't even want to go down the rabbit hole of like going down like the scenario, the troubling scenarios that I have found
Mm.
myself in. But like, I'll just go as far as to say, like, I have myself, especially in doing rideshare and being a woman, have felt uncomfortable so many times, so many times.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never had to experience that. But yeah, definitely some shady and shifty characters. I've been called out my name. You know what I
Oh,
mean? It's a lot. It's a lot.
Nisha, I know it traumatized me early. So I do not, you already know, I would call you like crying at least
Crying.
once a week.
And you know, and gig work isn't for, I feel like there's this perception of
It
like,
is not for the sensitive at heart.
right. I feel like there's this perception like, oh, like, you know, it's so easy to make money now. If you have a phone, you can make money. It's like, you know what? Gig work is not for everybody. You know what I
It
mean?
is not. It is not.
Because it is the wild, wild west. So like for some more sensitive souls, it just may be a little bit more of a difficult endeavor.
And then you have those videos on TikTok where the girl is like, as soon as I know that there is a man getting my groceries, I automatically know that there's gonna be stuff in my cart that ain't right.
Mm.
Have you seen that? Where
No,
they know they where
no.
they've seen like whoever's picking up their groceries, they're
That
like,
is
as soon as I know it's a dude, I
hilarious.
know it's not gonna be right. And I'm like, then you know,
Right. Right. And
because
that's
going
my whole thing. That's where the confusion lies for me. It's like if I kept running into issue after issue after issue, because I'll get on these, you know, apps and people are just like telling me their woes and like projecting their triggers onto me, and I'm like, look, I'm a good person, okay? Like I don't warrant this suspicion or this, you know, this
yeah.
interaction, you know, this negative interaction, you know what I mean? Like you're totally just projecting on me because you've clearly had a negative past experience. And if you're
Can you please
experiencing,
check the strawberries because last time the other person gave me rotten
girl, I
strawberries and
don't
I can't.
care. I can't stand when people be telling me, if I had a nickel
But
for every
that's
time,
so
like,
real.
please don't ring my doorbell. My baby sleep. I don't need to know about your baby being asleep. I won't ring your doorbell,
Oh,
sweetheart. I promise. I promise you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to interact with you at all. So it's like,
yeah.
even if your instruction said to meet me at the door, chances are I would probably still leave it there because I don't. That's how much I don't want to interact with anybody, and I don't like, no disrespect, but like you again, like to your point, what you were saying earlier, we are strangers to each other, so I don't have any invested interest in the semantics of your life. I just want to drop this shit off and go. So that being
Mhm.
said, please just get to the point. Like let's just get to the exchange and just
Chad.
move right along. But yes, so I want to encourage people cuz you know, these are so personally, I don't think that it's sustainable just because there is no like conventional like compliance in place for these types of you know, apps like these types of systems. There's just like a complete lack of compliance in my personal opinion. And the reason, because of that, I start going down rabbit holes. A lot of these most if not all of them are owned by people who are literally like across the world, like they're in, you know, wherever in Europe or wherever, and they, you know, have acquired these, you know, these other companies, these American delivery app companies. And now, of course, they're outsourcing everything. So it's completely detached. There's no real compliance. There's no there's very little to no accountability. And when there is accountability, it tends to be very extreme, because a lot of times it could be due to technical issues, or, you know what I mean? So it's just hard because there's no conventional system in place. It's just hard to like have proper checks and balances. So because of all that, that's why I don't use them, because I like checks and balances. I like, you know what I mean? I use it as a last resort, just because I don't trust the system that runs it personally. Even though I work it has proven beneficial to me, you know, it has proven lucrative for me. And you know, I continue to do it because for selfish reasons. It's like, you know, allows me the flexibility to live my life the way that I want to. So that is the perk for me and why I continue to do it. But because I have done it for so long, I could never comfortably use the apps, just because I know I know without a shadow of a doubt. But there are certain people, this is all they know. You think about kids being raised in this day and age, all they know is, you know, Uber and DoorDash and, you know, whatever. So it's like, this is their norm. You know what I mean? I'm a very particular person. So when I see somebody has like super particular instructions in their delivery, I'm like, you need to be out here picking up this yourself.
Excuse me, Nisha. I'm sneezing. But
Okay.
yes, super specific. I'm just like, I can't do this.
Really need to be out here doing this yourself, because like,
can you make sure you pick a ripe watermelon? I'm like, I don't even know
can you
how to
make
pick
sure
a
that the
ripe
kale has
watermelon.
no lettuce, no yellow on any of the leaves, and make sure you shake off the water and place each individual kale in its own bag, and you order like 10 bushes of kale, and you're making like $10. Girl, take your ass to the grocery store and do this yourself.
Do this
Or you
yourself.
better tip like crazy. If you're gonna be that snooty in particular, like you better be tipping like there's no tomorrow. Because the way that people will be so particular and so anal and so like there's no way.
And
Like
inconsiderate about what you might be driving. If you're ordering 10 cases of water,
right. Right.
first of
And that's
all,
another thing too. It's like there's no system in place. Like, why would you now people can order like TVs. Like you can order stuff at like
Nisha,
Walmart.
I delivered a flat screen TV.
It's like, why, if the app can see what type of car you drive, you know what I mean? There's a certain type of vehicle I feel like that should be required to pick up furniture. So it's like, why would you ever send a Nissan Sentra to pick up any type of furniture? That's what I mean. There's nothing. There's nothing. I saw I saw this post. I saw this post that said that Uber drivers may be able to deny rides now, because they'll be able to know if like a customer is inebriated. Now, granted, like I don't know how they'll be able to know that. I
Yeah, how
didn't,
would you know that?
like how would you know that? I don't even know how that's supposed to work. But they'll have the ability to basically deny drunk riders. Like if they see a request come in and it's an inebriated customer, they can just reject it, because if they don't want to pick up someone who's drunk.
Damn, so much for
And
having a designated driver. That's what the whole
well,
point is about.
people were going ham in the comments, like, well, that defeats the purpose. What's the point? Da, 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 da. And I was like, well, coming from personal experience, people shouldn't have to pick up drunk people if they don't want to.
That's true.
I'm
That's
like, people
facts.
should not. And there are some people who are literally out there for like they work at night because they want to pick up because they'll make more. You make more money that way, so they'll run the risk of having somebody blow chunks in their car, which literally ruins your shift. By the way, like once somebody throws up in your car, you can't pick anybody else up anymore. So that's
Oh
way
my
people have
God.
such an aversion to like potentially being in that situation themselves. So
Yeah.
that being said, I put in the comments like people shouldn't have to pick up drunk passengers if they don't want to. And that's
Facts.
what I need people to understand. These are, your neighbors. These are your local neighborhood soccer moms in their SUVs, and just doing something on the side to make some money. So it's like you guys like rallying like that. They shouldn't be able to do that. Da, 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 da. It's like actually they can, because the way that this is set up, it's supposed to be like almost like a community exchange rather than like a corporation, a corporate head, and that whole thing. It's literally like your local community, helping each other out. You need to make some money, I need to get somewhere, like that. That's more so the nature of it. And I feel like there's this misconception of what it means to use gig working apps, it's both oftentimes on the driver and customer side. So that's my 2 cents on that. That was a mouthful.
And I appreciate you for still doing it, and I appreciate the people who do it, because I do still order off these apps, but I ain't going back. Me,
like personally. I'm not. And see, again, everybody is different. You're the opposite. You're like, I will use him, but I am never delivering again. We're like polar opposites, literally.
Nesha,
what?
I wanted to do something real quick.
Okay.
We don't have to do a bunch of them, but I like that subject that you had of, are they still canceled?
Oh, okay.
Can we make that a little team building back and forth?
Yes. So I actually, it's like 4:47 right now. I had like a 4:45 virtual appointment. That was my bad. But are you open to like coming back and doing it and like having that be like I guess it wouldn't be OCT Reacts, but like having it be a segment that we can maybe add on, or are we able to do that? Like, can we tackle it on to the end, like go away and then come back? Oh, damn, I think that's him.
No, yeah.
Okay, I'll come back.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, girl.
Bye,
y'all. Time to do something fun, some team
okay,
building.
Y'all. It's time to do something fun. We were talking. we saw something on socials, a social media post on Blavity. Shout out to Blavity. So it brought up a really interesting conversation about cancel culture. I think the thing that sparked the conversation was actually the fact that Kehlani had a picture with Chris Brown, and a lot of the comments were just really negative, like, "Oh my gosh, like how?" Because I don't indulge in like celebrity gossip like that. Like I know we do, have a key on here every once in a blue moon, but when I tell you guys, I'm super detached from like what goes on with like celebrity gossips and blogs and like that kind of, like, I have no idea, y'all. Like short of the shade room headlines every once in a blue moon, I don't be knowing like that. So I guess back in the day, Kehlani had, I guess canceled Chris or, denounced him or whatever the fact. So I guess her, flash forward to today, and her being in a picture with him caused like a ruckus. Everybody was in the comments talking about, what are you doing? Like, how could you do that? So I guess it sparked an interesting idea in an influencer's head of like, okay, like, what is the is there a cancel date? Is there a cancel date on cancel culture? Like, is there a period of time where we forget about it? You know what I mean? And she actually took a poll on a whole host of different celebrities who have, been canceled for one reason or another, just to kind of take the temperature to see like how people are feeling about said individual. So I thought it would be well, Karisma actually thought it would be. I was gonna just make it like a subject, but like, no, we can turn it into like a team building thing, and we can
on
actually,
socials.
Yeah, on socials, exactly, exactly. So starting out, and who better to start off with than Chris Brown, Breezy himself. Now, I was literally there, and not like physically there, like with Chris Brown and Rihanna, but like we were like in the midst of like, in the what do you call it, pop culture scene when all of that was happening. So it's just very shocking. It's like someone you see all the time. Like these are people you see all the time on television and music videos, movies, and and they have this very public relationship. So it's like to see Rihanna's face like all bruised up like that was just very shocking and very triggering, and it immediately made me angry at Chris. I'll say that. Yes. Now, granted, there was even I remember even back then. I remember there was like a two-sided like debate on how people were feeling about it. I feel like there were comedians who were like, if these was just two college students, fighting over some top ramen, like nobody would care. Like I remember that being like a specific quote, like saying that it's literally just because they're famous why this is even considered a big deal to people. But I just feel like that was kind of like belittling domestic violence, and depending on who you ask, there's like two sides to the story. Like, the other narrative being that, Rihanna is a hothead and had her own share of blows and whatever the case, but him being the man, of course, like, he's stronger and whatever. So it just ended up being a thing of where her scars showed more. So there's so many discussions.
She still got that scar on her lip to this day.
Yeah, there's so many discussions, think pieces on like who's right, who's wrong, like the faults and da da da. But me personally, I forgave him, though I was initially shocked and mad. I forgave him when she forgave him, because if you remember, like, I would say it wasn't that long after that happened, there was like photos surfacing of like him and her together. I think they even did a song after that happened. I think they did like a song together or something like that. And I was just kind of like, at the time, I was like, well, girl, I can't be mad at him if you ain't even mad at him. Like, so, and granted, I'm not a Chris Brown stan like that. Like, I know the hits, but there are some people who are like the way we are for Beyonce, like people are like that for Chris Brown. So it's like, I can't even, I don't know if I even have like a dog in this race, to like even throw my hat in there. But I, like I said, forgave when she forgave, because I am not in the business of remaining mad at somebody for somebody, even if that person isn't even mad at them anymore. So I let it go and I don't hold it against him. But there are there are some people who are holding on to that. I feel like the overwhelming majority of people have let it go, but I think there are some people who are holding on to that grudge. I remember posting something on my story that maybe had Chris Brown in it, or maybe I chose a Chris Brown song for like the background music or something like that. And somebody DM'd me like, I thought we canceled him. I was like,
she's checking the temperature. She's checking the temperature. Because a lot of people are confused. A lot of the ladies are like, are we standing 10 toes down?
Right.
Or are we graying the area?
And I'm gonna tell y'all, like I told this person that DM'd me, I said I forgave him when she forgave him. So I don't even that. I mean, and that's what sucks about when you have something that's kind of like a stain on your career. It's like it's at the forefront of people's minds forever. Yeah. So I feel like there will always be like a piece of my brain that connects that incident to him. That's what I will say. But I'm no longer in a space where I'm holding it against him anymore.
To where you don't consume, to where you do not consume. To where I don't consume.
Yeah, to where I can't consume it without feeling like a type of way. Because there's some people stuff where if I consume it, I feel morally conflicted, and I just can't.
Yeah.
So I can't disassociate enough to enjoy the experience anymore. So that's that. So for me personally, I have let it go where Christopher Maurice Brown is concerned. Like I have let it go. Moving on to R. Kelly, someone who I have definitely not let it go, will never let it go. I've been hearing the whispers about this man since I was a child, like since I was a kid, since I was young enough to be watching spoofs about it on the Boondocks, and to just flash forward to today and where we are today with his development, how his criminal history has developed. I'm like, absolutely not. And again, I don't have this emotional connection to R. Kelly's music. And there are people, oh gosh, there are people who have their opinions about R. Kelly and his talents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that he is a talented person. I just don't have the same reverence for his talent. Like there are people like, he is a musical genius. And I'm just like, girl, bye.
Yeah, I was watching R&B Money podcast. That is a podcast that I watch. That is one of the only podcasts that I watch where two men are having conversation. And sometimes it teeters, to where I'm just like, I'm listening to male banter and I feel like I'm not supposed to be here.
I feel like this is not a space for me.
Yeah, I just feel like, I shouldn't be hearing this. But, I kind of like the fraternization because I get to really see, and they definitely be like, R. Kelly, don't care what he did, who he is. Down. He's the GOAT. He's the great. And I'm just like, yikes. I'm like, damn. I mean, maybe we missed that generation because I was like, I didn't grow up on his music, so I wouldn't even.
Listen, you will never catch me stepping in the name of love ever again. And
not to say that I was really fair because it's such a good song.
It's all right. I feel like it means more to Chicagoans than it does. Can I say that?
And I found myself singing it the other day, and I was like, I had to stop myself randomly. I sang that, and randomly it popped in my head, and I was like, "Are you okay? Why are we singing this?"
Right. There are certain songs. There are certain songs. You know what I mean? That it's just like, oh no, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you know what's even harder for me is the fact that he's written for a lot of people. So some of my favorite songs, like Whitney, and he wrote on Sparkle, not the old Sparkle, but when they remade it, he wrote on Sparkle. Such a great soundtrack.
He gave us Trapped in the Closet, man. Like that was.
I was in middle school. We would be on the school bus every day. Did you see it? Did you see the new one? Like, so I'm not completely detached from.
Like, how do we detach ourselves from the art? It's hard, but
right.
He still can't.
But my I guess my repulsion like overrides. You know what I mean? Even down to like the trend on TikTok. You know that the TikTok sound they took from Trapped in the Closet, where it's like, and he looks at me, and I looked at him.
And I have to skip
I'm
immediately.
Like,
I can't. Yeah, I'm like skip. And that's why I say the younger generation hopped onto it. And that's why I'm like, they're not really.
We are experiencing, and I feel like millennials in particular are experiencing this a lot. We are experiencing a resurgence of like all the stuff that we grew up with. It's like a nostalgia party, and it's like you go on TikTok and they're doing the mixes of the old R&B and New Jack City songs, and just like all these oldies just resurfacing through these young kids. It's kind of crazy, but when it comes to this man in particular, it's gonna be a no for me always.
Yeah.
Always a no for me.
Same.
I randomly got a picture of that scene from the Boondocks when Riley, what did he say? I saw piss coming. I moved. She saw piss coming. She stopped. She stayed.
I'm not. We can't.
And see, that goes back to like the fact that we also can't take anything serious.
We can't take nothing serious because now the Boondocks with Gangstalicious.
Oh gosh, is that the I won't you? And
he like take and I'm clean now. Like he had on a little
yes.
and a skirt, and Gangstalicious is supposed to be Diddy.
Oh God.
And so I'm
it's
having
that's
a
like
hard
our
time.
Simpsons. Like that's our Simpsons. Like they are predicting the Black future. Cause like bro, like the way the Boondocks has been clocking it for years and years and years.
If it was still around. And so I'm even having a hard time with Diddy. How I listen to a lot of his music.
So yes, R. Kelly obviously canceled. Diddy, he's next. Obviously, for me, like just cancel. Not even a question. Like, and I would even argue that I am more. I feel like I probably like more of Diddy's stuff than R. Kelly. And I was watching like Making the Band and all that. So I feel like I'm more immersed in the Diddy verse more than I am in the R. Kelly verse. Mm-hmm. That being said, and you know what I mean? And speaking of Making the Band, it's like I feel like that was a window into Diddy's personality for me. I feel like he felt like he was you know, bigger than like, you know, being a decent human being. Like I felt like he was so big that he didn't have to be like a good person, basically. So I was like, I've peeped Diddy and his like not being a good person like very early. Like I've known for a long time that this is a man that I would not like in person, get along with, whatever. But there was, you know, I was still able to disassociate not liking his personality, because you know it's like this is a persona at the end of the day, and I you know, I'm not a stranger to not liking a celebrity's personality. I didn't like Kobe Bryant's personality for a long time, but with Kobe in particular, I thought he was like very arrogant. But with Kobe in particular, I got to see his evolution into a man and a husband and a father and a, you know, an advocate and a humanitarian, and it was just like very like their trajectory was very beautiful to watch. So it's great to see someone go from like, you know, a certain type of personality to becoming, you know, an evolved version of themselves, and you get to change your mind about them. That has not happened with Diddy. That has absolutely not happened with Diddy at all. It has only, it's gotten worse. It got worse, and then it got worse. Worser. So he's canceled for me personally. Moving right along. Trey Songz. How are we? Let's test the temperature on that.
Rapid fire. Cancel.
Bye.
Gotta go.
And I don't even feel that one was another one. Like he's like a R. Kelly protege to me, to be honest. Like he's as far as like his music and things like that, like he's very R. Kelly reminiscent in my personal opinion. And I remember all of that stuff. The moment that Trey got canceled for me was when Keke Palmer, people don't
Justice
even,
for Keke.
yes, I don't even know if people like really remember this or even go back to that moment, but I remember when all of that stuff she was talking about like happened, and how everybody was like really like just kind of like, I don't even know how to word it, but like just like dimming that story, like killing that story, minimizing
her testimony, her story.
Yes.
When
Only
they know for sure.
Yeah, I believe everything she said. Like everything she said, I wholeheartedly believe it.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know this man from a can of paint, but it was like the moment I heard her, so I was like, oh yeah, he gives that. I was like, I'm sorry, but he gives that. And I actually went to a concert of his with a friend. A friend was a big fan of his. I don't know if she still is. I'm not really in touch with this friend anymore, but she invited me. She had tickets and she invited me to his concert. Miguel opened for him.
How was it?
It was good. I enjoyed myself. But it's just in these moments, and you know, there are some Trey songs that I love. I have this really like kind of bittersweet memory of my mom singing that song.
Just Gotta Make It?
No, girl.
I remember the beginning. That's what I'm
saying. The one, We Can't Be Friends. No, there ain't no way we can be friends. Now that's a good song. I can't even. Look at what you done to me. Yeah, now that's a good song. I can't even front. My mom would sing that song to the top of her lungs, and it's like, so yeah, it's like a bittersweet memory because we were like in Louisiana at the time, and that's where she chose to be her resting place. So it's like hearing her, like, I can't even hear that song, and like I get misty. I'm like, oh. But yeah, like, so again, there are, you know, it can be difficult at times because you have memories wrapped up in these people's art, you know, so there is a little bit of a struggle, but like
I got one for you.
Huh?
I got one for you. Lizzo.
Woo! Okay.
Let's talk about it.
I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful here. Gotta be careful. So I love, first and foremost, no, Lizzo is not canceled for me. Lizzo seems to be a positive influence in the industry. I don't really get any negative perceptions from her as a person. However, there was that moment. We know the moment, but it seems like that has died. It seemed like that lawsuit,
That's what I'm saying. What's the statute of limitation on cancellation?
Right.
It's up. The statute of limitation is up. She's not canceled. She's back in the limelight.
I feel like people came for, like, you know, like, I don't want to be biased, but I do feel like the way people were just ready to come for her as a, you know, a plus size Black woman, like people were just ready for her downfall, it felt like. So I felt like there was like a lot of unfairness in that degree. And I was just kind of sitting in the back just waiting to see how the situation played out, like what, because like if there's a case, which, if I'm being honest, based on like what I was hearing from the people who were you know, suing her, having the lawsuit against her, it just felt it felt disingenuous. I didn't feel like, and we watched the Lizzo and the Big Girls,
Yeah,
like it
we
was
did.
girls from that, you know what I mean? So it was kind of hard to I guess like validate their testimony with what I saw on the show and stuff like that, because it was giving very happy to be here, grateful to be here, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to like discredit, you know, a potential victim's testimony, but it just, again, I can only go through like my own intuition and instinct, and it just didn't feel like they really had a case against her. It just felt more so like I guess like a money grab situation, like somebody was trying to clout chase, or
Ooh, child.
that's what it gave to me. So I can't really, but you know, what I will say is that very similar to like the Chris Brown situation, I felt like that was maybe like a race that I didn't have a dog in either, or a horse in, or whatever. Because while I love what Lizzo represents, I'm not like a huge fan of her music. Like I like that it's like upbeat, positive music, but like her popularity is a mystery to me. Because not to say that she doesn't deserve, and she doesn't this and she doesn't that. Like I feel like, to a certain extent, there's like some technical aspects of her music that I don't really quite get, because she's studied. She is a
Well,
studied
if
musician.
you look, yeah, she definitely is. If all you got to do is watch her concert footage, and when it pans to the audience, you'll know exactly who her demographic is.
Right. Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
there's that.
Yes. There's
I
that.
got another one for you.
Okay.
Doja.
Doja Cat.
Yeah, I'm not. She's not canceled to me.
Doja's not canceled for me.
She's not
I
canceled.
put Doja. I literally put Doja and Kanye in the same.
Yeah.
Where there's internal going on, and it's playing out for the
Yeah.
masses,
Yeah.
and it's like, leave them alone, let them heal, and let them create, and let them just be on their
Let
islands.
that girl deal with her biracialism
Yes.
and her father wounds the
Yes, her
way she
father
wants
wounds.
to,
Yes,
the
because
way
that's
she want to deal with it, and because that's how it's manifesting.
yes, yes. So please just
And
leave her alone to deal with that. But she's not canceled for that. For me, it'd be different. Who's that other girl? Is she biracial? I don't know.
who?
Sabrina, what's her name? Capello.
Sabrina Caballo?
No,
Sabrina Claudio?
Claudio. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
When
her.
some old tweets resurfaced of what she
Yes. Now she can go. she
gotta
can go.
go. Sorry, Sabrina.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl.
And I don't even want to get too invested in your stuff, because like the sound is a vibe, like the songs are like a vibe, the aesthetic is a vibe, but I don't even want to get too invested, because you can go. Doja, however, and you know, Kanye, and I'll throw Kanye in there too. They're two artists that are not canceled for me. They have their own like internal mental, whatever the case, struggles playing out for us, the masses, and I am choosing to humanize them and make no judgment on their journeys.
Yeah. What about Justin Timberlake?
Oh, that is a good one. That is a great one. I am so sorry, y'all. Like
He gotta go.
Justin is a fuck boy. I'll give you that, but I cannot cancel Justin. I can't.
You can't cancel Justin.
I'm
Justin can go for
sorry.
me.
It hasn't gotten that bad to where I'm like disassociating, but he's definitely a fuck boy. I wouldn't.
I guess mine is indifference. I'm like, I
Okay,
don't care.
not canceled, just indifferent.
I'm like, the man in the woods, he went off somewhere.
I love Man in the Woods. I thought that people arguably felt like that was probably his worst ever, and I was like, I don't know what's me and Caleb were just listening to that, like, I don't know why people hate this.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even give it a chance. I was just like, oh, he's able to. He's those artists. So is Doja, where you have just enough ambiguity to go in and out of genres and subgenres. You can entertain and pander to Black audiences. You can entertain and pander to white audiences, and they have that. So I'm like, if we're gonna have these people be able to do it, Doja is just a new.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Who is doing it the way she wants to do it.
100%. And I condemn the actions for sure. Like, I definitely condemn the actions, but it's just like,
I'm like, that is her mental illness. That ain't got nothing to do with us,
boys like JT are a dime a dozen, y'all. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
White boys that blew up. And
this is gonna be a tough one for you, Nesh.
Oh God.
J.K. Rowling.
Okay. Do you know what is so insane about you bringing that up, Karisma? Is that, like, I literally, like, have... Okay, let me give some context here. Harry Potter the first Harry Potter book came out in, like, 1997. You know how old I was? I was 7 years old, okay? I probably read that book in, like, 98 or 99, like 4th or 5th grade. I read the books. I watched all the movies. I literally grew up with these people. Like, these people are my people. Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they're my friends, okay? They're my classmates at Hogwarts. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think I have, like an kind of like how people with R. Kelly or Chris Brown are, where it's just like, I'm so engrossed. Oh my God,
with the art.
Deep. I'm in so deep into the Potter art that I completely disassociate her from, like, she's not even a part of it anymore for me. I'm just like, you're just you the stroke of genius, however, comma, girl. And I love how Daniel Radcliffe has, like, denounced her comments and, stuff like that. Like, I hate when and this is what I hate about it. Like, I hate when they get running their mouths and they get all political, and so it's just like, just shut up. I don't want to know any of this stuff about you. I don't want to know any of this stuff. And it's different when it's like, there's one hand when you're actually, like, doing, like, harm to somebody, like physical harm to human beings, and then when you just have, like, a bigot opinion, you know what I mean? Like, you just, the way you think is, like, really effed up, but it's like, you're not doing anything that's, like, causing, like, physical harm to somebody. So I'm rolling my eyes at you. But I also recognize my bias, because I just reread that. I just recently, it's so crazy that you asked me that, because I literally just reread the entire series recently, and this was my first time rereading it as an adult, and I fell in love. Like, I was so engrossed just in it, like, crying at stuff that I already knew was coming. Like, I'm in it. I'm in too deep. So J.K. Rowling is canceled, but Harry Potter is not.
Period. Harry Potter didn't do nothing to nobody.
Right. Don't be coming from my friends. Like, listen, God gave her the story. So this is from God, okay?
Yes, it's no longer hers.
Right. It's a masterpiece from God. She was just the vessel.
Yeah.
Could have been a better vessel, but we can't be perfect.
Yeah.
You're right. You got me. You gagged me.
And again, indifference for me, because I was like, I watched the movies, but I didn't read the books. I didn't watch all of them. So I was like, you could go.
And and that's my whole thing. When I tell you I was in it, read all of the books. Like, so I'm literally growing up with them, like growing up in the story with the characters. And then the movies come out. So, like, at that last movie, and I'm in it, like, midnight showing, like, I'm all out. So imagine me sitting in that theater of the last movie, like I'm like, what? And it was just like, what do I do with my life now? Like it's been such a engrossed portion of my life, like where I was just deep in the Potter verse, the Potter world, to where just the feeling of emptiness when the last whatever comes out, and it's like, what do I do now? Like that was literally me. Speaking of J.K. Rowling, we were talking about this earlier. Johnny Depp. You're like, I don't care, girl. So I mentioned Johnny Depp because
in his
him and Amber. Yeah, so for me it's Amber. Amber's canceled, but I I won't even say canceled. She's indifferent. Like I don't have an opinion, but I do feel a type of way because Johnny was in the Potterverse through Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He got the role of Grindelwald, and now I have lost my Grindelwald because of Amber. So it's like I can't let that go, and I'm mad.
They could both be chopped as a couple.
They could be chopped as a couple. They are obviously not good together. So, but Johnny Depp is another. Like I've loved Johnny Depp for. Oh my gosh, he was like one of my first celebrity crushes when I was younger. So it's like I also have like a little bit of a bias
I'm
there
trying
too.
to think if there's a Johnny Depp role that I just can't live without.
There's so many. Pirates of the Caribbean, Willy Wonka.
He's not. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm a
he's
Willy
not
Wonka
your Willy
original.
Wonka.
No, he's not.
Is it Gene?
Yeah,
Gene Wilder.
Yeah,
I love Gene.
Me too. I don't want to hear nothing about him. Don't tell me.
Okay. What else? Let's see. Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, damn. That's a good one.
Secret. I love The Secret Window. That was such a good movie. I went to the movies to see that. That was such a good movie. It was like a thriller. I was more so when I was younger than now, but I was obsessed with Johnny Depp growing up, and I saw all his movies. So,
and what I mean by canceled, it's like Johnny Depp. If he were to create another piece of whatever, I probably wouldn't. Would you?
Yes. Like, are you still actively listening, watching, reading,
consuming their products?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we mean by cancel. Now, let's be clear, like cancel culture, like can honestly be canceled on its own because you literally can't cancel a person.
You can't cancel anybody. We're just shooting the shiz.
Yeah, if you want to like disassociate from their art, by all means, that is what we mean when we say canceled. Yeah. So moving right along, I want to this is a recent one. I want to get into this one, Jonathan Majors.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a tough one. Because I love Lovecraft Country.
Ooh, you're making me think of other ones too when you're talking about when you're bringing up certain projects.
This one is a slippery slope for me.
You know what? I don't again. So as far as like the relationship itself, gosh, this is such a hard one because it's so racially charged.
Nuanced and racially charged. Exactly.
But what I will say is that I think Jonathan Majors got caught up in a situation and his life fell apart because of it.
Yeah.
And like very, very typical, look to a Black woman to save him, to turn his life around. And honestly, it's working.
It is working.
Megan Good is the best PR Jonathan Majors could ever get.
I think all the Megan Good prayer warriors are helping because I was in prayer because I said, Megan, I hope, I pray.
For me,
this is real because what?
Right.
But that conversation that we all heard with him about, we need a Coretta, you need to be a Coretta Scott King, and I'm like, sir,
sit down, stop. You're making it worse.
I was like, ew, please don't say anything.
Who is your PR person? Just have a seat. Don't say anything. Just sit there and look contrite and remorseful.
Don't even smile. Just have a permanent sad face. My question is, if he comes out with a new movie, which he will,
I'm indifferent.
a rom-com, like, are we gonna watch it? Like, it's like, are we gonna? We probably will.
I would have to care. I'd have to care, but I'm a movie person, so it's like when I see the trailer, if the trailer grabs me, I'm so indifferent on the subject of Jonathan Majors and his debacle. I feel bad for him. I feel like he got himself in a situation, like I said, but it's not my business. So
it's like we'd have to see him in like a rom-com or something, something soft and light and funny.
Right. But he's not canceled for me. I have an indifferent. I feel bad. I feel like it's a tale as old as time. Because who was that other guy? Nate. He was in that. What movie was that?
He
What's
was
his name?
He was in
He was in Great Debaters.
Yes, and he was also in, what is that movie? Nat Turner.
Nat Turner. Yes.
What was it was called?
Nate Parker.
Freedom. It was called,
I forgot the name of it, but that was when all that started.
Girl.
I feel similar about that situation. I feel like he just got caught up in a situation that ruined his career, unfortunately. So I feel bad for him more than I feel like I'm canceling him. Because the details, like sometimes when these details surface, they get very murky. The Jonathan Majors situation and like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is it's a similar thing where it's just like the woman's hands are not clean either. Like she's kind of like in on the gag, in on the shenanigans too. Like she has her fair share. So it's like y'all are just bad together. Like y'all just don't need to be together. You know what I mean? And this is really like not our business. Please take us out the group chat. Like, you know what I mean? And just, separate amicably and move on with your lives. So very similar.
I personally canceled as a couple. I've canceled Cardi B and Offset as a couple. I've logged out of it. I've blocked them from the group chat. Blocked every single hashtag having to deal with them as a couple. I don't even want to know.
That is not my business.
Nope.
Not my business. I want another one too that's kind of like in the same vein of these. Jussie Smollett from Empire.
I think the statute of limitation. Let's talk about the statute of limitation. Nesha, he drug us through the snow at that time. That was a lot. It was a lot. I feel emotionally traumatized by that whole event.
That whole scenario.
So even though I have forgiven you, I don't need you to do anything else. Go into business. Go into sales.
Yes.
Go into, especially when he called himself the gay Tupac, it's like, go into religion. Go into spirituality. Do something else other than media.
I believe he's still acting. What's crazy is that like I recently was on Instagram and saw a picture of him like in front of a step and repeat on a red carpet with like Vivica Fox and like someone we worked before. Remember when we used to do like skits? Like we used to get together and do skits with like other actors. Somebody we worked with was in the movie, but I was like, oh, I'm like gagging, but also like gags, like, oh my God, like Jussie's in the movie. That's crazy. He's acting again. But yes, I have moved on. I have forgiven and moved on. Again, this is one of those situations where it's just like, it felt like shenanigans. And I'm like, you know what? This is not my business, actually.
It was so just unnecessarily traumatic.
Yes, agreed.
Goodness gracious.
All right.
Well,
that was a lot. We went through a lot. I do have more, but I feel like this is a good place to end it.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody else?
We could do rapid fire. Rapid fire
with the rest of the list. Okay. Bill Cosby.
Canceled.
Yes, canceled. Which
Jeffree
is hard.
Star. Jeffree Star.
Canceled.
Indifferent, because I've started watching his product reviews again.
I get sucked in. He's very charismatic.
How are you? I know.
Yeah, no, he's very charismatic. It's very easy for me to get like sucked into like watching like all of his content.
Yeah.
I won't say I'll say indifferent, because he's just not a part of my everyday, right. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm indifferent. But like,
will I buy a product? I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm close.
I most likely won't. It's okay. But I have seen his pink Tesla. I have been driving through Los Angeles and have that pink Tesla pass by me. So that was kind of cool.
Ooh.
All right. The baby.
Don't care.
Indifferent.
Indifferent. Okay. Shia LaBeouf. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Canceled.
Canceled?
I had to
you
do
saw
it.
He came back, right? Shia LaBeouf.
So, you know what's crazy? I was very late to that information train. I was not aware of the full FKA situation. Yeah. But yeah, definitely once I found out it, and that's a hard one. That's like super traumatizing. But again, it's like I said earlier with the JK Rowling, it's like there is being, you know, like having like whack opinions or being a bigot or whatever, and then there's being physically harmful to somebody.
Yeah.
And I just can't abide that. And that one is heartbreaking because I've grown up watching Shia LaBeouf, and we love Shia LaBeouf. Down.
The last thing I consumed so that was one broke my heart. What is that? What was his one? It was not Baby Boy, but it was
Honey Boy. That was the last thing I watched too.
Same, and I think I'm gonna leave it there.
Had to, and it honestly gave me clarity into like what has become of him today. So it's unfortunate. I wish him the best, but I ride for Twigs. I'm sorry.
And you know what? Of course, and shout out to her
because man, oh man, the things that she has gone through dating these white boys.
So my prayers are to the men in Hollywood, because y'all have created an atmosphere of just trauma. Because he was a child star. He was a child star who went through some stuff that I'm sure he will never talk about. But sorry, Shala. We got to stand on business.
So yeah, again, like wish him the best. Perhaps there could be like some type of like Chris Brown-esque redemption for him like down the road. But as it stands right now, like you need to just work on you. And
yeah,
I'm riding for my girl. Nicki Minaj, because she is dating an SO.
Yeah.
Or married to. Dating? Did I say dating? Literally married.
Yeah, no, married.
Literally married.
This one's so hard, Nesha. I love Nicki Minaj. I am a barb.
I love Nicki. I have struggles with her personality. I'm not gonna say she's canceled, but I have always struggled with her personality, like for the entirety of her career.
And I think she's so riveting. I love that she's a disruptor. I love that she's a disruptor. I love that about her.
I love her tweets. I love it.
I just love that she shakes the table. Yeah, she's entertaining. I need her to be in cartoons. I need her to do voiceovers. I need her back in movies. I need her doing.
I was just listening to like an early. What's the one where she has Bees in the Trap? What album was that?
Pink Friday Reloaded. I don't know.
I think it was. Yeah, I was recently just listening to that. She is so like hilarious. She's a comedian.
She is.
Go on vacation, Roman. Like, you need a vacation, Roman. I'm like, oh my god.
And she's never going away.
And you know what's crazy too is that like, because you know like Remy Ma, Lil Kim, like they can't stand her. So I'm literally just envisioning these women like listening. I'm like, I know they can't stand her.
They cannot
stand her ass. Like
but they just said, like, you can't get rid of me. And she still stands. I'm like, Nicki, I want you to see this to the end. If this is a crash and burn, baby, go down, guns blazing. Crash out, because I want to see it to the end. God bless her.
No, I'm not canceling her. I'm not canceling her, but I pray for her every day.
Pray for her. Prayers up. This one's so random, but the YouTube star that I know that I didn't consume his content. You probably didn't.
The white guy?
Nick Avocado.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say somebody else.
No. Okay, so you don't know who that is? Nick Avocado. Okay, never mind.
Doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect me. Tory Lanez.
Oh, canceled for sure.
Canceled and indifferent. Like I wasn't a fan of his prior to all that happening, so it was like it was nothing for me.
Indifferent,
but he has a very loyal
fan base,
cult
absolutely.
fan base for sure that ride for him. You mentioned this one earlier, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's not canceled for me, but you know, like if I was a young thing in Hollywood, I wouldn't date him. You know, because he's developed a reputation. So yeah,
and he's been connected to Diddy's parties, like as his a loyal attender of the parties.
And wasn't he like on the Epstein list too?
Girl, I don't even want to address that list. I am turning a blind eye, and I am admitting that, and that is so wrong for me to say. I am just so confused. I don't know what to do. Okay, we know the list. What are we gonna do?
What now?
What now?
Right.
Speaking of what now, Azalea Banks.
No, she's not. She's not canceled, and I'm like quite indifferent. She's just kind of like that cousin that comes to the party and then like says the off the walls. It's like, girl, why do you always got to come in here starting shit? Like that's what she is to me. It's like, girl, you could have just like not said anything, but you get in people's comments and start spazzing. That's like. Anyway, Harvey Weinstein.
Out.
Now, obviously, never, was never like oh my God, I'm big on Weinstein. Like, no, but after a quick Google, I have discovered that I like quite a few Weinstein produced movies. So it's like, ill. So annoyed by that. But yeah, obviously canceled. Canceled.
Yeah.
Under the jail.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
That's all I have.
This has been like an episode in and of itself. This could be like a bonus.
Yeah.
Like a bonus team building episode.
Girl. What is it? Yeah. On socials team building episode.
Yeah, bonus episode. But yeah, this was it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Kind of like there's a lot of pick and choosing just based on like what your own personal biases are. And wow, this was a very eye-opening little experiment here.
Yeah, and it puts into perspective that we are all responsible. I feel just as responsible for consuming the product that these people create as these people are wreaking havoc on life. I don't know. I do feel like a responsible party as I get older. I'm like, yo, as long as if I drink Ciroc,
right,
ever
and
again,
you're not wrong.
Like I have to be,
And I do want to mention too, on the post that we are referencing, she did add corporations, like because of like support of Palestine and stuff like that. So Starbucks, Google, that kind of thing.
Yes, and it's like, how are we gonna boycott Google?
How you gonna boycott? I mean, yeah, that's a better point, Google, because like,
I guess we use Bing. Did we go to Bing? Use a different search engine? Like how?
Yahoo?
That is huge. Oh, Yahoo too.
Google is so embedded in like the ether. Starbucks too, I feel like to a certain extent. Like who doesn't go to Starbucks?
We're crackheads. Like for Starbucks. How are we ever going to shake Starbucks?
Right. There's 2 on every block. Like how?
Literally, it's a crack house.
They're in every block. They're in Targets.
They're in Targets. They're in hotels. They're in airports. They're in liquor stores. They're in gas stations. Stores.
They're at Bonds.
They're about to have.
And you know what? To a certain extent, because we could be the disruptors that see actual change if we could all come together like on one accord. But that's the problem. We will never. There's too many of us. Like there's too many of us. There's too many different opinions. I don't feel like we would ever be able to get enough on one accord to make an actual impact. But if we did, we could. Imagine if so people came into Starbucks and there was like nobody there. They would.
What if we all just said, you know what? Let's go to Coffee Bean.
Right. and like every Starbucks you walked into was empty, like
vacant.
Literally, like
there was no
tumbleweeds. Like imagine how quickly you could get a CEO to do something about whatever the F you wanted him to do something about by just having one whole day where nobody showed up at a Starbucks.
Oh my God.
Imagine. But that'll never happen. Because, you know, people aren't committed enough. You know what I mean? I say the same thing about like work. Like, what if everybody just got on one of, and you know, sometimes that does happen. Like sometimes there are strikes, you know what I mean? Like, which, you know, just goes to show you the power of unity and getting on one accord towards like one common goal. But on the scale that we would need it, it feels almost damn near impossible to get everybody to act.
Watch something go on sale at Starbucks. Girl, please.
Girl.
That's
and guilty because I damn sure made like a little content video about me buying one of those little Starbucks tumbler cups because they were like on sale, like 35% off or something like that, because of them being boycotted. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and at the time when I bought it, I was not aware that like they were like a supporter and this was like happening. Somebody in my comments actually had to put me, they were like, it's on sale because of the boycott. And I was like, oh. And then had to do my little research and I'm like, ooh. So it's, you know, you can't win. I feel like that is what comes with, you know, as politics now likes to take it, like the concept of wokeness. It can be draining being woke because like how many hills do you have to stand on? How many soapboxes daily do you have to go on? It's like, who can live like that?
Yeah, being woke and being conscious about everything is literally, you're in a constant state of rage.
A constant state of rage, constant state of like resistance and rebellion. And you know what I mean? You might as like for a while I was like, I'm going off the grid. I'm going into the woods and you will not find me.
Period.
I'm going to forage. I'm going to grow a garden. Gonna start a farm. Leave me alone. Going back to the prairie days.
But even them girls are leaving their lifestyles. Them Mormon girls, they got a reality show. They like,
yeah, them Amish girls.
Yeah.
Them Amish, yeah.
They taking up arms too, girl. Everybody's affected by something.
I mean, listen, granted, I would too. Well, I can't speak for it because when you're indoctrinated in a certain way, it can be like mental shackles are real. So it takes a lot of courage and bravery to bust out into the brave new world, and you don't know nothing about nothing. Your life has been so completely sheltered. So kudos to those brave souls, because quiet as a scalp probably couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't be me. I am a rebellious spirit, but that is only because like I have gotten to be fortunate enough to taste freedom for the majority of my life. But imagine being born into like a subservient, submissive type of environment where that is what you're expected to be.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I have enjoyed this. I'm just still gagged though that this whole thing has been like a whole episode in and of itself. But I'm glad we did it. This was, like I said, a very interesting experiment, but I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep my mind open as we go forward to just I'm gonna try my best.
I'm doing my best out here. Okay.
I'm gonna try my best.
I'm doing my best, y'all.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything else.
I was going to say, Nesha, I'm trying my best because as things continue to unfold in the media, I think we are going to be tested.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening. I think our loyalty to some of our faves is going to be tested. And I'm like, Lord, keep me.
I blame Cat Williams. He started it all.
I blame Kendrick Lamar. Because now we're woke. We have the veil has been lifted
than we already were.
These
like,
people
even
have
more
pulled the rug, and now we see all the dirt on the floor, and we're addressing all the elephants in the room. And so
every single last one.
But also, Kendrick dropped the album. Thank you.
Please.
And we out.
Can you please drop broccoli? I call it broccoli.
Drop what?
I call it broccoli. I don't know what the actual name of it is, but I call it broccoli.
Why is it broccoli?
Up looking for the broccoli. The blueprint is by me.
Have you heard the new one? Oh yeah, of course you heard the party is dead. The party died. The party is over. Yes. Everybody's going home. The lights are turned on. We see everybody looking crazy. You know how after a party, and they turn the lights on?
Yes.
We all looking crazy.
Raccoon eyes, hair.
Wig turned around. Ladies barefoot.
I was just about to say, everybody heels off.
And you realize how nasty the club actually looks.
It's actually like the floor is dirty. That's why you're dirty and sticky.
It's time to clean up. It's time to clean up.
It's time to clean up. I've been here. I've heard like there's this medium on YouTube who's been like predicting like all of the stuff that's been happening this year.
I have been trying to skip every video. I'm like, I can't take more.
I don't engage. I don't, because the last thing my mind needs to be ruminated on is some alleged conspiracies. I'm
like, let me just please.
And then like for it to like be happening, because Kayla, people around me have watched them and been confirming that the things are happening. I'm just like, shut up, like leave me alone, leave me out of it. I just want to experience it firsthand as it happens, and just let me be shocked. I don't want the warning.
Girl.
So we'll just see how it all plays out and just pray. Yeah, like you said, pray. Lord, keep us, cover us, protect our minds, our spirits, and our hearts.
Yes.
Don't let it be hardened to the world. Please let us see and understand that there is still good in it.
And be the people be good. Choose good.
Choose the light always.
Yeah. Have the strength to choose good.
Ah, woman.
Ashe. Yes.
That was for you.
Thank you. So. As long as I got one. It only takes one. All right, girl.
All right. Well, unless there's anything else, colleagues, we are out this piece. Until next time. Bye, y'all.